How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So it is, as always, a beautiful morning on the farm, and it's actually just starting to heat up a little bit now, which is quite nice. And we haven't had snow in a few days either, but it's been a little while since the last video, and I took advantage of the off time to do a little bit of work around the farmyard and also the property across the road there. So we'll have a little drive over in a little bit and have a look at all of that. But I also did a bit of work over here at the dealership. So the farm all has had a full service on it, and I had to replace a few little mechanical parts here and there. But this is now mechanically sound, and I'm very happy with the way that it's turning out. And Zach was also able to organize the painting facilities over at Clever Motors for us, so he's going to be able to do this after hours, and we're going to take this over there today. So he'll start work on that as soon as he can. It's probably going to take a few weeks for him to do everything on this, because the prepping on this is going to take quite a bit of time, and he's also going to sandblast some of the parts and not just sand it. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see how this all turns out, and I'm kind of thinking about maybe keeping this when it's done, because it'll be a really nice collector's item. And I don't think I'll be able to get it over my heart to sell it. So yeah, we might end up keeping it. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. But I also spoke to Zach and asked him if there's any chance that he can maybe repaint the pickup truck for us. Because let's face it, the pickup truck is looking a bit sad. And yeah, it could really do with a new coat of paint. So he said, yep, no problem at all. So he's going to do the pickup truck first, actually, because it will be a bit of a quicker job. It's not quite as finicky as the tractor. But I was thinking about just selling it and replacing it. But to be honest, we're not in a financial position at the moment to be buying new pickup trucks. So we're going to keep it. We're just going to repaint it, and we're not going to change the color scheme on it. I quite like the original color scheme here, and I want to keep it somewhat original, so it'll just look like it came out of the factory. So I'm quite excited for that as well, to see this sort of reborn, I guess. And yeah, I mean, like I say, I would have liked to replace it, because this is a nice pickup truck, but it's obviously high mileage and it's quite old, and it's not the most reliable thing in the world. And it also doesn't quite have the towing capacity that I would like out of a pickup truck. But at least when it's resprayed, we can later on, when we have a bit of money in the bank again, we can sell it hopefully for a fairly good price, and then put that towards a new pickup. Other than that, the Ford. So this has had a full service as well, and honestly, it's actually been very well looked after, even though the paint job doesn't really suggest that. But the filters and all were pretty clean, actually. They definitely haven't been there for a long time, and the oil looked pretty good on it. So I'm thinking it probably had a good service recently, but I just gave it a good service anyway and replaced all of the filters that needed replacing, just so that we know it's in tip-top condition. And I'm still kind of thinking about keeping it, to be honest. And the only reason I haven't made a decision on it is because this does not have a front loader attacher on it. Now, I was thinking maybe when we take the tractor and the pickup truck over to Clever Motors later on, I'll pop into the shop and speak to Jason and find out if they can possibly fit a front loader attacher to this. And if they can, I think I might end up doing that and keeping this and selling the Massey that's over at the farmyard at the moment. Because I do like this Ford, I like the look of it, and I've always been quite a bit of a fan of Ford tractors. So we might end up keeping that. But we are going to head over to the farmyard, and I'll show you guys what I did over there, and then we'll head over to that little property across the road, and I'll show you guys what I did over there as well. So yeah, I've definitely been a little bit busy, but it wasn't super exciting work, so I decided not to catch it on film. So let's head over there, and I'll show you guys what we have done. Alright, so we're just about coming up to the farmyard here. I just stopped to have a look at how the crop's doing, and seems to be doing just fine, so I'm happy enough with that. But here on the right hand side, you can see our first little job that I did on the farm, and I know it's rough. Don't get me wrong, I know it's rough, but it was free. So I saw an ad online of a guy that was giving away a whole bunch of wood and planks and stuff. And he said basically if you can collect it, it's yours for free. So I grabbed the trailer and I headed over there. And yeah, I got us a whole bunch of planks and stuff. So I only had enough to do the front of the property. And I didn't quite have enough to actually fill in the gaps and all. But I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I know it's rough, but I think it kind of looks cool in its own way. Now, the reason I did this, obviously, is not for security purposes, because there's no gate, and it's open, well, everywhere else. The only reason I really did it was, one, because it kind of makes this feel a little bit more like a farmyard, rather than just a field with a shed on it, and a silo. But also, it makes this space over here a little bit more usable for storing equipment and stuff, because it just kind of felt like our equipment was sort of sitting in the road all the time. So now that it's been fenced off a little bit, it just feels, yeah, a little bit more like a farmyard and a little bit more usable. So, yeah, that's our little fence. It didn't take too long, obviously. There wasn't a huge amount of measuring and stuff that went into that. But, yeah, it was a fun little job to do. And, yeah, it was free. So, I'm happy enough with it. And we can always, you know, do something better with it later on if we feel we need to. But I think it's just fine for now. Now, second job I did was a chicken coop. A big chicken coop. So I saw pictures and all of this thing online, and I thought, well, it's obviously got a door, so it'll be pretty big, but I didn't realize how big. It's quite massive, but it's also good that it's big, because we do have 30 chickens in here now, and now they have a little shelter where they can keep dry and warm, and they seem to be happy enough with it. They seem to actually spend quite a bit of time in there at night, so that's all good. They sort of figured it out to go in there to sleep and all, and it'll also keep them a little bit safer. I mean, we haven't had any chickens disappear that I know of from like wild animals and stuff, but yeah, at least it'll sort of keep them safe. Well, as safe as you possibly can, I guess. Anyway, so I'm quite happy with that, and it wasn't too expensive. That was $500. So not a huge amount for what it is. But that'll do us at least for a while, because I do want to maybe at some point move the chickens and give them a little bit more space. But I don't really have a plan for that just yet. So the third thing that I did was I got a guy out that sort of works with bees and all, and he gave us a little bit of an upgrade. So we had 3 hives over here, and he took away the 3 hives and he built that thing. Well, he assembled it. It sort of comes as a kit. And that is basically 10 hives in one big frame. So I'm quite happy about that, because we'll get a much higher production of honey in there. But also, I don't know, it just looks a little bit better, I guess. I wasn't a huge fan of the other hives. I mean, I know it's just a hive. It's not supposed to be aesthetic. It's supposed to be practical. But I just kind of like the look of this. It's kind of cool. I like it. So, yeah, that is our upgrade, I guess, to our beehive. So we've got a lot more bees in there, and that should help the fields along as well. At least the fields, well, at least this one, and maybe the one back there, even though that's not ours. But, yeah, the bees help a little bit with the pollination and all of that. But, yeah, pretty cool. Other than that, I don't think we did anything else around here. No, I don't think we did. We do have a few pallets of stuff that we could probably take to market. And we also need to get a bit of water into the greenhouse there. I saw the tank was getting a little bit empty, but we did have some snow melt off the roof. So that refilled it a little bit, but we'll have to get some water in there soon. But we are going to head over to the other property, technically the third property, which I kept on sort of kind of forgetting about, because, yeah, it wasn't ever really the focus of, well, the purchased land, I guess. It was all about the dealership and the field, but there is a nice little piece of land that came with it across the road, which I did a bit of work at, so we're going to head over there and we'll take a look at that real quick. Alright, so we're just heading out there, but this is definitely the most work that I did in the off season. So what I did is I was able to find the property line on, well, this field over here, basically, or, well, piece of land, and I fenced the entire area. So this was a huge job to do, but I think it came out really, really well. And I'll tell you what, this property is way bigger than what I initially expected it to be. And that is why I never really gave it any attention, because I honestly thought it was just a tiny little corner on the sort of edge of the road here. I genuinely thought it maybe came to here. But this place is quite substantial. It is a really, really big piece of land. At least in terms of, I mean, our other properties. This is huge. This might even be bigger than our original piece of land down there. And I never realized the fence line came this far in, or the property line came this far in. So I'm actually very happy with how the fencing came out. I haven't done a huge amount of fencing in my life, but it's pretty good, and it's all new. So that'll last a very, very long time. All new materials that I used on that. So it was a little bit expensive, but I think definitely worth it. So this opens up a little bit of opportunity for a few things here. So my first reaction was keep this a grassland and mow this and then bale it, and then we can use this for feed for sheep. And that is probably the most likely plan that I'm gonna go with. The thing is, we can also just put sheep in here, but I don't know if that's a good idea, because we wouldn't really have too much control over the food supply then, because we don't really have other grassland. Well, we have no other grassland to make bales and stuff. So I'm a bit weary of just putting sheep in here and letting them sort of do their own thing. Probably not a great idea. We could always maybe fence off another little area within this area, and then just keep them sort of concentrated in one area, and then we can still sort of mow and bale the rest of it. But I don't know. I don't really know where a good place would be for a little sheep pen. But I'll have to really sit down and think about it and figure it out. But this might not be a bad spot. So there is a cut of grass on here at the moment, but obviously it wouldn't be high quality grass. So we'll probably come through, if we do decide to bale this, we could probably come through and do a cut. But then after the first cut, I'll probably come back and plow everything in and reseed it and fertilize and lime it and all, and make sure that we get a really high quality grass out of here for the next cut. So yeah, I mean, there's no point in wasting the first cut here, even though it's low quality. So we'll probably do that, but we'll have to see where we can basically build a sheep pen first. So I'm thinking maybe over at the old property, taking a bit out of that field there, and then utilizing this just for grass, because it would give us a pretty good supply. Because if we do build a sheep pen in here, we're going to lose quite a chunk of this, and we might be short on food then, and we'll have to end up buying bales in, which probably quite expensive, I would think. And that just eats into the profits of having sheep in the first place. But yeah, so I was absolutely dumbstruck when I saw the property line and saw how big this property actually is. If I knew it was this big, I would have looked into doing something with this a long time ago. But yeah, you live and learn. So very, very nice surprise, that piece of land there. Right, anyway, let's head back. Oh, hang on. Hello? Alright, well, that was Jimmy, and he has got a job for us. So he's actually doing cotton again on one of his big fields, actually the one just next to Zach's property. And he wants us to grab the big John Deere and the planter and do a bit of cotton planting for him. So I actually thought about it. I've never seen a cotton harvester over here. So I don't know if he maybe brings one in and I've never seen it, or maybe he contracts the harvesting. Because I know that cotton cotton harvesters are wildly expensive. So sometimes it's better just to contract that job. So maybe he does that. I don't know. Should actually find out what he does. But yeah, cotton can definitely be very, very profitable, but it's just very expensive to get into. Like I say, especially when it comes to harvesters and stuff. Right, so I am going to get this planter hooked up. This thing needs a good wash. We might actually take it over to our wash bay and just wash it for him when we're all done. Probably do the planter as well. But I'm going to get this all hooked up, and we're going to jump into a real quick time lapse and get this field knocked out. So for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, well that is job done, and that was quite enjoyable. I did like that. So I did see that we have got a bit of snow coming later today, so less than ideal. I was just saying earlier that it hasn't snowed in a while, but there you go. Snow is coming back. Right, so I have got the gooseneck trailer hooked up, and I've got the little tractor on there. I've also got the side-by-side on there because, well, I need to get home. So I'm going to leave it just here, probably. And they can move it wherever they want to move it. But I'll get the side-by-side off there real quick. And we're not going to see... Well, the tractor definitely not for some time. The pickup truck maybe in a week or so. I'm not sure how long this would normally take, but yeah, we're going to be without a pickup and a trailer for that matter for a little while, so we'll just have to make do with the side-by-side. But I want to go chat to Jason real quick about a front loader on that Ford, so let's see what he has to say. Alright, well, they are happy enough for me to leave the pickup truck and the trailer over there. They'll get it all sorted out. So I spoke to Jason real quick about the front loader on that Ford, and he says they can indeed do one for us. So all in all, with parts and labor, we're looking at somewhere in the region of $1,500, which I think is pretty good. Not too bad at all. So now I really just have to make a decision whether we're keeping the Ford or keeping the Massey, and honestly I'm a bit torn. I mean, it probably doesn't really matter too much, because either way we'll still be ending up with a good tractor. But maybe you guys can help me make a decision on that. So let me know what you think we should keep on the farm, and we'll sell the other one. But yeah, the snow is supposed to be arriving, by the looks of it, in about an hour or so. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more that I want to be doing today. Unfortunately, it wasn't the most productive day on the farm. I mean, we did do the planting for Jimmy, but other than that, I was really just showing you guys everything that has been done. But that's just farming, I guess. It can't always be all exciting and interesting. Sometimes there's just a little bit of fencing that needs to be done. So, yeah, but I hope you do like the sort of changes on the little farmyard over there. And also, let me know what you guys think about the property over that side. I kind of feel like I want to say the new property, because it does feel new, even though we bought it with this. But, yeah, that is gonna be it for today, though. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time.